Welcome back to Halftime TV. Naranda Brown here, your host, and I'll be giving my 2 cents on the Harry Kane situation in the English Premier League. Now, oftentimes I try my best to stay away from these incidents or these situations, as a matter of fact, because it generally makes me seem one-sided, and I don't want that to be the case. But nonetheless, I'll be sharing my 2 cents on that. Before I go any further, hit the link in the description for my sponsors, Quick Link Shipping, RS Sports Store, and CSA Shop. If you haven't done so as yet, hit the subscribe button as well. Subscribe to the channel at Halftime TV, folks. We appreciate the love and the support. So, Harry Kane, yes, the England captain, the Tottenham captain as well. Well, one of Tottenham's captain. He's been pushing for a move out of his club for the past few months, really. Before the Euros, he came out and said there was a gentleman's agreement between himself and Daniel Levy, and the agreement indicated that had Tottenham not come away victorious as it relates to trophies or Champions League places at the end of the season, he'd be allowed to leave. Right? So that's basically what Harry Kane said in his words. A gentleman's agreement was made, nothing on paper, nothing concrete, nothing conclusive. Now, since the beginning or the opening of the transfer window, or the end of the Euros really, there's been a lot of noise around Harry Kane and his next destination. Manchester City, they seem clear favourites as things stand now to land the England striker. But Tottenham Hotspur and Daniel Levy, they're holding steadfast in their valuation of their asset, and they value him at around £150 million to £160 million, right? Harry Kane, he turned up for training late. He was excluded from Matchday 1 squad. He was included in the UEFA Conference League squad, but he was excluded from the first game or the first match that they were supposed to play, was excluded from that team. Tottenham Hotspur, they went on to win the first game of the English Premier League against none other than Manchester City. So again, it's a whole lot of going around and coming around, back and forth. Harry Kane, he threw down the gauntlet earlier this week, indicated that he wants to leave and he wants to leave. Now, Daniel Levy still not budging. So where do we begin with this situation? Where do we begin? Is Harry Kane handling the situation properly? In my opinion, I think they went about it the wrong way. In 2018, Harry Kane signed a 6-year contract. 6-year contract. Essentially, that contract would really keep him at the club until he was 32 years of age. It also means he wouldn't be eligible for a pay raise or anything of that sort. Right now, Harry Kane, his brother is his agent, and while negotiating that contract, there wasn't any stipulation within black and white in that document indicating that Harry Kane would be allowed to leave for any price whatsoever. We saw Jack Grealish was allowed to leave Aston Villa for £100 million because that clause was inserted into Jack Grealish's contract at Aston Villa. That's not the same at Tottenham Hotspur, right? Because Daniel Levy did not insert a clause into the contract. They said they had a gentleman's agreement, but a gentleman's agreement means nothing really, as we saw with Lionel Messi last season and his tug of war with Barcelona when he wanted to leave. Now, Harry Kane, it's approaching the end of the transfer window. He's still pushing for a move to Manchester City, who I think they seem as if they desperately need a striker. And in my opinion, I think if they stand any chance whatsoever of landing Harry Kane, they need to pay up. They need to pay that £150 million in full, because Tottenham Hotspur aren't budging. And considering the time it is now, so close to the end of the transfer window, it's impossible really for Tottenham Hotspur to go out into the window and to land a Harry Kane replacement, right? Harry Kane, he's virtually irreplaceable really, in my opinion. Sung Min Young, I think he can do a job, but he's not an out-and-out centre forward as Harry Kane was with Tottenham Hotspur. And I think the entire handling of this situation has been disgraceful from the Harry Kane camp. I think he's been spared a lot of stick from the British media because Prince Harry, as is oftentimes regarded, is the gem of England. They treat him differently from all other players. And as Michael Richards said on the weekend, Paul Pogba, he comes under a whole lot of scrutiny. We criticize Pogba, we bash him, we say all manner of evil about Paul Pogba, who has never once come out in the media and said he wanted to leave Manchester United. He's always shown up for training. He's always been available for selection for the manager. And we are seeing something completely different from Harry Kane and the Tottenham saga. Yet the coverage from the media is totally different. They constantly regard him as a consummate professional, the ideal role model for all the kids and all of that. Yet he's refraining from representing the team. He's not showing up for training, and the media is making it seem as if he is a saint. I think Harry Kane and how he's going about this situation is an embarrassment, and he should be ashamed of himself. If he wants to leave, well, fine, it is on you. You want to win trophies, personal ambitions, fine. I can't say anything about that. But you need to sit down with your agent and with the directors of the club, indicate how you want to go about it, and then you move forward. We saw something similar with Thibaut Courtois with Chelsea a few years ago, where he basically pushed for a move and forced the club's hand and eventually got his move to Real Madrid. And Chelsea had to go out into the transfer window and to buy a goalkeeper last minute in the form of Kepa Arrizabalaga for £72 million, which preposterous if you ask me. And as things stand now, that is the route the Harry Kane deal is heading. Because if it gets to the last bit of the transfer window and Harry Kane secures that move, Tottenham will be left in a very bad spot. And whoever is the player, whoever is the club that they'll be buying a player from to come in, they'll be quoting some extortionate prices. Harry Kane, I think you need to get your house in order. Your agent, who is your brother, he made a bad decision, and it all came down to inexperience and lack of expertise when dealing with big cases or big clients like yourself. He's not qualified enough to be representing you, and I know he's your brother, but at times family needs to be separated from business, and that's where you went wrong, and that's why you're paying the price right now. Daniel Levy is well within his right to do whatever he thinks, because you are his asset. He's paying your wages, and if he doesn't want to accept a £125 million bid that was submitted by Manchester City earlier this week, it's up to him. It's his decision. If he doesn't want to answer the calls of Manchester City, again, it's up to him. It's his decision. Manchester City will want to do everything to secure Harry Kane's signature, but unless they submit that £150 million bid, Harry Kane will be a Tottenham Hotspur player for the rest of this season. All right, let me know what you guys think. Is the Harry Kane situation being handled properly by all the parties involved? I personally don't think so, but obviously we welcome your opinion as well. Noranda Brown here saying until next time, thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Hurricane, Hurricane.